Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, January 3rd. Skipped yesterday. After work, I played D&D with my buddies. We missed a couple of weeks of that, so it was fun to get back to it. Although, after the break from the holidays, a little rusty going back into it, but we managed. Today, of course, is movie day, but today, and actually the rest of the week, I'm working that later shift that I use to help out the training team at my work. And so I have a shorter evening. I tend to try and find a shorter movie because it just fits well with not being stressed to... You can't pause the movie. You'll run out of time. It's just stressful. So, that means not getting... I want it. I'm so close to finishing James Bond. I want to do it, but not yet. And also not continuing on with Marvel, both of which I intend to do soon, trademark, but not yet, because I want something short. So I was thinking, okay, well, and the goal, of course, to watch newer movies I haven't seen, maybe clear out some of this shelf here. So I was like, are any of these short? Yeah. Actually, a couple are, but I will watch one of the couple on this here. Actually, let me get the plastic off of here, because this thing is still all wrapped in plastic from when I got it. So I have not opened this movie yet. Okay? This is a 2-movie set. But I will be watching the first of the movies, The Rescuers. It says it is 78 minutes. It's less than an hour and a half. How much better can I ask for? Now, I recall I had The Rescuers, I guess on VHS, or I don't know, maybe I didn't. Maybe I just rented them a few times. I don't know. But I recall The Rescuers from growing up, and The Rescuers Down Under. From my childhood memories, I recall, I think, liking The Rescuers Down Under better. But part of that is because my recollection, my memory from The Rescuers is terror and heartache at the horribleness of this woman, and how she tortures the child by trying to drown the child to get the diamond. I don't know how much of the movie that actually is, but that is my memory of this movie, was terror. And I think the rescuers, gather. Is one of them Bianca? I'm not sure. Anyways, they ride on a bird, like an albatross. Yeah, there's the bird. The bird's right there. I see the bird. The bird's on the cover. I'm right. But yeah, so I will be watching The Rescuers. And I would give The Rescuers a 7.3 out of 10. And I will note, this says The Rescuers 35th Anniversary Edition, but this set is 10 years old. It's 45 years old. Alright. From, 1977. The back of that box just shows, it has info on both. It's a double set for both movies, but from online, a description. Bernard, Bob Newhart, and Miss Bianca, 2 New York City mice, are members of the Rescue Aid Society, an international team that operates beneath the United Nations and comes to the aid of those in need. After receiving word that Penny, a young orphan, has been abducted by Madame Medusa, an evil woman seeking a precious diamond, the two set out to bring her back home, with help from other animal friends. First off, they're not 2 New York City mice. Bernard is a New York City mouse who works as the janitor at the Rescue Aid Society. Bianca is the representative from Hungary. Distinctly not, accented and whatever, she comes in, like everyone, she gets attention as she comes in, she has her perfume and her fancy clothes, but like she is a foreign mouse, as many of the mouse in the Rescue Aid Society are, because it's an international group. So I don't know who wrote that description, but they're wrong. They do start, however, in New York City. Anyways, so there's a call for help that was drug up in a bottle, and the Rescue Aid Society, which is a society of mice under the United Nations, has recovered it, and they're like, okay, well, we need to send someone. So Miss Bianca kind of steps up and said, oh, poor girl, let me go help. And person heading the meeting is like, well, I guess it's no longer a man's world. How strange. First time for everything, sure. You should have someone go with you, though. And of course, she's, pretty mouse with her perfume and all that. And so all the representatives from other nations are, like, clamoring to go with her. But she chooses Bernard, the janitor. He's, like, a little nervous with the idea going, but he's not gonna say no distinctly, so off they go. And the early part of it is actually them trying to investigate what's going on. So they have to go to the, because the letter they got is all smudged. It was a letter in a bottle going through water, so not all the words are clear. So they track down she was in an orphanage, so go there, and they get information from an old cat that tracks them to a pawn shop, where they overhear this Madame Medusa that she's going to... Yeah, it is the Devil's Bayou. Because whoever she has, holding the child there and trying to get whatever diamond, Devil's Eye, isn't doing it fast enough. So she's going to go intervene. So they have to go to the airport, take Albatross Air, down to the Devil's Bayou, where they meet some southern animal friends who are more than willing to help, because they don't like that Medusa lady. Medusa lady also keeps a couple of alligators or crocodiles, I'm not really sure which, as dogs, basically. And they cause some trouble, of course. But basically, this lady has stolen an orphan, and every morning at low tide in this bayou, stuffs the kid down in a hole into a cave to try and dig up a giant diamond that's supposed to be amongst some pirate treasure there, racing before the tide raises, and the child just has to beg to be pulled back up so that they don't die, because it's a horrible lady. Anyways, so the mice kind of, come up, hey, we'll help. She's like, didn't you bring anyone bigger, like the police? Nope, just 2 mice. But they're willing to help. So we have a few emotional scenes, particularly related to the old cat, I think it's Rufus, that they met when they were trying to collect information, because he knew Penny. And she's all sad, because she's an orphan and wants to be adopted. And other kids were getting adopted instead of her. So, he kind of cheers her up. But one of the things he says to the mice is, what are you going to do? You're just 2 mice. But you know what? They're 2 mice that are trying. So they're going to do a whole lot more than everyone else, because they're trying. So they help the little girl. They try and come up with a plan. Things don't quite go off to plan, and little girl ends up stuffed in the hole again. And really, the little girl, her only possession is her teddy bear. And so she is very, very fond of this teddy bear. Evil lady takes the teddy bear and says, hey, if you don't find it this time, you're not getting your bear back. Anyways, now she has the mice to help, and they're able to go over into an area she hasn't gotten to, because there's an additional drop in the cave that she would fall down before she can get over to it, but that's where it is. So she has to basically use the rising tide to be able to get over there and try and get this giant diamond out of a skull. And when she gets it up, Medusa betrays everyone. Surprise! Evil lady is evil! And so her partner, who's supposed to get, you know, a 50% share, she's like, no, you get nothing. And the child, who's supposed to be at least brought back to the orphanage, is no. And you don't get your bear either. I stuffed my diamond in your bear to carry it, and now it's mine. Now, that means that when animal friends from the bayou finally arrive to start the charge and the bear is dropped, the little girl is after the bear that has the diamond because it's her bear. Stupid lady. Anyways, chaos ensues. Animals fight people. And in the end, they sink the boat that they have out there that they're living on. And the lady ends up clambering on a smokestack as her alligators turn against her. Although we don't get to see if they actually kill her like she deserves. We instead cut away to see celebration of the giant diamond that was in the girl's bear got turned over to some museum as like the world's largest diamond or whatever. And the girl gets adopted. It's on the news. So that's nice. And Bianca, at this point, is quite fond of Bernard and how brave he is. Still very cowardly, but brave. Very cautious, but brave. And so when another mission comes in, she wants them to go on that one too. And he's a little nervous, like we just got back, but kid needs help. Don't you want to help? So that's sweet. It's an old enough movie that like it does the credits at the opening, and it's like this scene of the bottle, you know, like just not like a constant, like not animation, but a series of stills of which the credits are in front of. That is the bottle going across, you know, whatever bodies of water to wherever it may be that the mice are going to find it. But it's all like colored pastels on like a textured paper, and you can see the texture of the paper, and it is beautiful artwork. I mean, of course, it is traditionally animated. It is beautiful. I love it. I love that. And obviously, that's a lot of work. So it is what it is. But it's traditional animation. I like it. But it made me feel, and it made me cry, and all that, and all. So. But I think that's some of the memory I had of the show. So be it, eh? Anyways, like I said, I have a short evening, so I need to get to bed. Thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues. Bye.